For my Creating Innovative Uses of Technology project, I decided to do some innovating with a single iPad in my classroom. This school year, I have the opportunity to use one. I was given one on loan by my district for about 5 months of the year, so I wanted to be able to incorporate it in my lessons. The hope is that I could really engage students in learning if they were able to use an iPad and actually connect with the material. I also wanted to have a chance to differentiate my instruction, so I tried to create lessons that would tailor to some students in my classroom while I worked with another group at the same time. And I wanted to incorporate an iPad in a unique way. I know that iPads and laptops are very, very similar. The iPad just has its ability to be more flexible and be more, very much faster to use in a classroom, but I wanted to be able to use it in ways that I couldn't use a laptop. So I wanted to explore some of the apps that were on the iPad specifically for my math classes. The topic chosen was my Algebra 1 class, because I teach 2 sections of it this year, so it's my largest group of students that I have to work with. And we're working right now on the polynomials unit, so I figured I would try to incorporate my lessons right into my class at this moment. So specifically, it's multiplying binomials for my lesson 1 and factoring trinomials in my lesson 2. In lesson 1, I wanted to incorporate some metacognitive skills, so I wanted the kids thinking about their own reasoning, and I wanted to give them a chance for some individualized instruction. Since I have a large group of about 30 students in my class, I wanted to target individual students based on their needs. And I put the iPad in the students' hands because I wanted them to actually connect and use it, as opposed to just me using it from like the teacher perspective. And I wanted the students to learn from their own mistakes. So in my lesson, I determined where students were making mistakes on multiplying binomials, and on their quiz that I gave them, I photographed student errors with the iPad and recorded a video that would illustrate exactly what they did wrong and what they needed to do correctly. And students were able to be grouped specifically so that the student who needed help with foiling would watch the video on that, and the student needed help with distributing would watch the video on that. So they each had their own specific videos that they had to watch. And there's a sample video that you can watch, but for some reason when I used the app that I used and I uploaded it to their website, they deleted the background image, which is the student photograph, so it's going to be kind of hard to actually see what I did with the students. But when I did it in the classroom, the image was perfectly fine on the iPad itself. It's just the website that has an issue with that, and I'll have to figure that out later if I want to use this again. The technology used is an iPad 2. The iPad 2 has the camera feature so that I could actually take an image of what I needed. The Show Me app is what I used, but there's a lot of different screencasting apps. There's ScreenChomp and Educreations, and they all have this ability to have a background image of a photograph or anything you really need, and it allows you to annotate directly on the screen and have an audio recording of what's going on to help students. I would recommend using a stylus just because it's much easier to write with a stylus on the iPad, but you can use your finger. Videos were uploaded to the Show Me website, though they didn't really work out so well. Like I said, the background image didn't copy. And you may also need internet in the classroom if you wanted to use the website. The skills of the teacher are content knowledge, of course, the ability to take and import photos. I also had to do some editing of the photos, which was incredibly easy using the iPad. The ability to access and record video using the app. Controlling the multiple learning centers in the classroom was probably the most difficult task, and that doesn't involve any of the technology. It's just one of those teacher tasks that we have to do. Creating activities for all of the groups of learners so that the group of students who mastered the material, I needed to create activities for them so that they were occupied at the same time, but also challenged and going further into the topic. So those are the skills that the teacher needed. Skills of the students, fortunately, wasn't very much. The iPad is incredibly user-friendly, so all the students really needed to do was click on the app and click on their video, press play, listen to the video, and then hopefully learn some of the content related to the topic. And the procedures for the project were to identify the student needs, so exactly which questions students were getting wrong the most, and which groups of students were missing certain things. Then I had to create the specific video that helped that group of students and demonstrate how the app would be used with a student. So I had to quickly go over some of the safety procedures using the iPad. You know, do not throw the iPads, certain things like that needs to be repeated in a classroom. But it worked out fairly well. And I had to also instruct the multiple groups within the classroom, so that one group was watching the iPad video, one group was doing another activity, while another group was working on something else. The advantages of this lesson were that all of the students were engaged with the technology at some point in the class. There was individualized instruction based on their grouping. They can see and learn from their specific mistakes. It was easy and quick to use and construct. I think creating the videos took me approximately half an hour. I think it took more time actually rendering the videos than it did creating them. Transferable to multiple topics and disciplines of all ages. This is very easy and quick to use, and I think the kids enjoyed it. So I think it could be used in other disciplines as well. The disadvantage is that you must have an iPad in order to do this seamlessly and easily. I think the same application could be used for a laptop, but it would take much more time. It would require scanning things, and it would be a much greater effort, I think. And the expense of the technology is a disadvantage because, of course, you do have to use the iPad. Another disadvantage, though it's really more of an effort level based on the teacher, is that some students have mastered the topic and they will need something more challenging to work on. So the teacher needs to come up with other ideas and other topics and maybe other videos to show those students that will keep challenging them further. Posting to the Show Me website didn't actually work out as I had hoped it would at the beginning of this activity, but I think I will be able to figure that out. It may be using a different app. The best practices used in this lesson are differentiated instruction. Students get individualized attention based on what their needs are at, and the analysis of student errors also improves their metacognitive skills. I saw the students realize, oh, that's exactly what I did wrong, and they go back to their desk and they actually worked a lot harder at fixing their mistakes because they could see exactly what happened and where they went wrong, so they knew what to fix. This lesson could be used in multiple age groups, multiple grade levels, and multiple disciplines. I actually heard about this idea from a kindergarten teacher. She was helping kids with working on lettering and making sure that their letters go up to the top of the lines that they use. So she would take a picture of their penmanship and then write over top of their letters where exactly they needed the capital R to reach to the top of the line and so forth. But the app could be used for students to create their own videos as well. I could see an English teacher taking a picture of a student work and actually writing in directly where the commas need to go and exactly what they need to do. Videos could be projected onto the screen and for the whole class, for the students to be able to see and learn from each other.